after a violation of team rules sent 3 seniors out of the starting lineup. We'll discuss more of that as the day goes on. Let's take a look at Nate Oates and his Buffalo Bulls at 6 up and 5 down in the MAC. Willie Connor, C.J. Massenburg, Blake Hamilton, they could all fill it up offensively. Dante Carruthers.
In the state of New York, he's one of the guys everybody loves to watch because he does a wonderful job.
Yeah, Nate Oates led Romulus High School to a Michigan Big School State Championship before he joined Bobby Hurley at Buffalo. All right, let's take a look at the Bowling Green starting 5. Now, this is where we told you things have changed a little bit. Dylan Fry, along good about where they are in the MAC East. Buffalo in their traveling black trimmed in the blue and white. Bowling Green in their familiar white trimmed in the orange and brown. And let's go Saturday afternoon to get you to the hoop. All afternoon long here as Maxid starts to roll, and this is Willie Connor slashing his way to the cup, and he met some resistance as Bowling Green got that stop.
Well, that gives you a little indication of what Nate Oates is talking about offensively. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to take it strong to the basket.
Now, Roderick Caldwell running the show now, and the 3 young men that had been starters on the squad. Now, they are playing of late. They were suspended for violation of team rules by head coach Michael Uger, and that, of course, is Antoine Lillard along with Ish Ali and Zach Denny. And the 3 of them will come off the bench as they have been for the last 4 basketball games.
Well, I like the first little look. How about the direct feed? Hamilton. Direct feed inside for the score.
Yeah, we told you how gifted he is, and he's an excellent passer as he found David Kadiri for that quick flush. Well, a minute in, it's Buffalo on the board first. And as we said, they held Northern Illinois, a good basketball team, to just 45 points the other night as Wes Alsager will misfire from deep. C.J. Massenburg gave it up. Massenburg, Willie Connor, and Blake Hamilton, they're the 3 main scoring options for head coach Nate Oates. But then they bring big Nick Perkins off the bench, who's been terrific as well.
And we'll have a chance to see him probably fairly early in this basketball game. Good look from the corner there.
Now that jumper from Dante Carruthers didn't go, and it's going to be Bowling Green's basketball. Carruthers, a 6'1", third-year sophomore. And David, again, this look from Hamilton just looks over the top of the D.
Well, a little no-look away pass right there. Sometimes the best way to direct that pass is from the top of the key.
You see your Bowling Green wants to get DiMaggio Wiggins a touch, but how about the defense from Carruthers? Basketball on the deck. Caldwell will step into a triple, and you can ring that up. That's Roderick Caldwell, third-year sophomore out of Dayton. And the other night, a big win. How about the Bowling Green win at Kent State the other night? Is on that step-back deep 2 for Blake Hamilton is right there. In the last 4 games, Hamilton has averaged 22.5 points a game, 7 boards, 5 assists, and, oh, by the way, 58% shooting for the floor.
Well, not all bad there, partner. But more importantly, what he brings to this team is that leadership value as well. He handles the ball a lot. We're going to try to wear him down a little bit.
Hey, that's another young one to keep an eye on. The 6'2" freshman Dylan Fry showing off that sweet stroke of his. How about Michael Uger's recruiting territory? Pembroke Pines, Florida, to get a hold of this outstanding talent, Dylan Fry. We got a whistle down at that baseline, and that Bowling Green foul is going to go on Roderick Caldwell.
Well, you talk about recruiting, Michael, and you know both of these coaches, every program in America right now, a lot of it's going on. They've been on the road. They stick with their team, of course, but that's a big piece of how you build your program. And Nate Oates has done a wonderful job spreading his wings out across the country.
Yes, he has. Kenneth Smart has checked in, one of the bigs off the bench, 6'10" soft. Great look inside that Carruthers will deliver. Dante Carruthers got a strong opportunity right at the goal off that terrific look, again, for Blake Hamilton.
And like you mentioned Blake Hamilton again, Michael. He's been involved in every scoring opportunity thus far for the Buffalo Bulls, either off pass or making his own shots.
Yeah, Dylan Fry off the mark on that quick trigger 3. Buffalo to the offensive end. Hamilton will turn that corner. This is C.J. Massenburg wheeling in the paint and got that to fall off the window.
Well, remember now, if there's a matchup to watch, you got a couple freshmen on the floor for Bowling Green trying to defend veteran players. That's always a challenge. Caldwell will have his hands full here today, guarding the perimeter players for the Bulls.
Caldwell has knocked down his second perimeter jumper, the first one a triple hit. So Roderick Caldwell, again out of date, and he started to certainly get a lot more playing time. And now in the starting lineup, Michael Uger telling us yesterday, really likes his calm and smooth abilities. But speaking of smooth, Blake Hamilton will deposit another deep three.
Well, I mentioned spurt ability because that's what he can do. Once he gets in that rhythm offensively, he's got the long-range shot. He can get to the basket as well. His mid-range jumper is what he has worked on in the offseason. That's terrific as well.
There was the first touch for DiMaggio Wiggins for Bowling Green. Wiggins, who has been on a tear of late. All right, we're into that under 60-minute timeout. Blake Hamilton showing you his enormous.
What he is really good at, he's one of the top rebounders on this basketball team, especially at the offensive end. So even from that point guard spot, he has the tendency to impact the game off the glass.
Yeah, a young man from Pasadena, California, averaged almost 14 a game and 7 boards and is awarded third-team All-MAC. Here's that touch for DiMaggio Wiggins, the big fella. He got fouled, and that foul is going to go on Buffalo's Ikenna Smart, the sophomore from Nigeria.
Well, the one thing you're going to see is a lot of black jerseys all around him. He's going to draw a lot of attention, and that's a credit to him, his progress as an inside force for this Bowling Green Falcon basketball team as you take a good look at that young man right there.
Young man from nearby Toledo, 6'10", and David, certainly as we talked about, really went to work on his body and his game in the offseason. And when you mention him, Michael Uger just glows about him as we take a look at what he's done in this 3-game win streak.
Well, you'll see a name on that little graphic right there, Stan Joplin. A lot of familiar folks will remember them, but more importantly, and you mentioned it, Michael, what you try to do is develop your game one way or another and give credit to the basketball coaching staff for Bowling Green to make that happen.
Stan Joplin, of course, one of the legendary Toledo Rockets in his playing days for legendary head coach Bob Nichols. And then, of course, had a decade of coaching the Rockets as well. Nick Perkins off the mark on that line drive jumper as Perkins comes off the bench, where he's been fabulous for Nate Oates of late. Now, Antoine Lillard. Lillard wears number 11 in that lineup now. Lillard began the year as a starter, and as we said, had to miss a few for disciplinary reasons, as on that Wes Alcigar jumper, a lot of contact under the rim, and that Buffalo foul is going to get called on Ikenna Smart.
There's a good look at some of the numbers on Nick Perkins. Again, coming off the bench, the left-hander, averaging close to 16 points, 8 rebounds a game. I'd say that's pretty good production coming in off the bench, and that's a real bonus right now.
Partner is 6'8", 260, and he steps out on the floor and will face up from, beyond the three-point line, and also an excellent passer as well.
Well, tough guard, somebody on the scouting report you got to pay attention to, that's for sure.
All right, Zach Denny and Ish Ali in the lineup for Michael Uger. This is Ali with the basketball. And then a starting point guard here, and he's got Zach Denny to fire that triple. That's right there. Ali and Denny, you like the ball reversal?
That's what you need to do. You can't get it stuck on one side of the floor. Once you get the pass or dribble on reversal, opens up a lot of things.
Hamilton wanted to go up high, and Denny will come up with a rip away. Ali will run the floor. They've gone both ways now. Ali found Denny for the triple. Denny finds Ali on the Bowling Green run out.
Well, good transition offense, taking advantage of the Buffalo Bulls not getting back and matching up in that defensive territory.
Bowling Green on top by a deuce. Both these squads have, the capabilities going 90-plus. Willie Connor, a little bit too much on his jumper. And now that foul on Buffalo is going to go on big Raheem Johnson. Johnson, who wears number 31, and Ikenna Smart are the two bigs, young bigs off Nate Oates' bench.
Well, anytime you can catch and shoot in transition, there's the foul over the back right there. But both of these teams, for the most part, Michael, are man-to-man defensive teams. You might see a little twist here or there, a little zone defense, maybe a little zone pressure at times, but they're going to lean on this man-to-man defense most of the afternoon.
Ish Ali initiating the offense. Devontae Johnson is on the floor now. Wears number 3, checking Ali for Buffalo. Ali on the take. Side of the glass on his delivery. Buffalo looking to push. A change of directions. was Devontae Jordan and had it stolen away.
So up and down we go.
Well, Alcigar wanted a quick look to Lillard. Hamilton had it ripped away. Denny will go to the rim. David Kadiri challenged that.
Fast pace right now. Sometimes you got to be a little careful. The Bulls love to run fast, though. How about the little penetration move there? Off of the glass. Nice little move there by Devontae Jordan.
Yeah, just came in. So twice now, Devontae Jordan is a true freshman. And twice he has slouched his way into the paint against the bigs of Bowling Green.
See, this is where patience comes into play right now for Bowling Green. Shot clock going to move to 10. Can they get a good shot? And who's going to get that shot?
Antoine Lillard got to force the triple. Drew some rim, and now that's going to be Zach Denny on a push-off. So Denny got hit with a Bowling Green foul.
One of the challenges for Bowling Green, Michael, as I just mentioned, will be the ability, especially when different players, different combinations are on the floor. Who's going to, when the shot clock's low, who's going to get that opportunity to score? You always need a go-to guy. We know what Buffalo's going to go to, Blake Hamilton when he's on the floor, or Nick Perkins. Who will the Bowling Green Falcons go to when the defense is tough, shot clock is low?
Yeah, right now Nate Oates has got a lot of his bench bunch on the floor. Perkins setting that ball screen. Tried to roll off it and got held, and that's probably going to be Wes Alcigar. Either Alcigar or it was Alcigar. He and Rashid Rorell were both trying to deny Perkins going to the cup.
Well, a little off balance there, but you see Nick Perkins, good hands. We had an opportunity here on the out-of-bounds play. But Nick Perkins, very active on the floor. As you mentioned earlier, Michael, you got to know where he's at. Very cautious when you're guarding him.
Turning that corner was Jordan again, and he got hit for a trap. Take it away. We've so far, David, this is our first look at Devontae Jordan, the true freshman for Nate Oates. He is not bashful or timid about trying to get to the hole, is he?
Well, no question about that, Michael. I don't know the official got that call just because he was up in the air and came down before he released the pass. How about the feet on the inside?
Ish Ali for the Bowling Green lead. That's Antoine Lillard with that sizzle of a pass right on the money to Ali. C.J. Messenberg reverse. That wouldn't drop. Denny will push. Zach Denny with a floater that goes down. Iron Kind, he got to the home rims, touched it up and got it to go.
Denny did not have the numbers there, but that made no difference to that young man right there. He got it done, the senior out of Germantown, Ohio.
Look at Ish Ali as he was all over the freshman, Devontae Jordan. You know, David, too, we asked Michael Uger about watch. Well, that now, I'll make it 7, or either 6 and 5, 6 and 6, or 5 and 6. So these last 2 weeks of February and Friday night, March 3rd, final day of the regular season, are going to tell us a whole lot, Parker.
Well, we knew going into this basketball season in this conference, there's going to be a lot of that. How about the little backdoor move there? Excellent look off of the dribble.
Yeah, I mentioned, and that Ish Ali, who is senior point guard, Ali, Antoine Lillard, and Zach Denny were taken out of the starting lineup here as you look at that, David.
Well, a lot of times when you try to relieve pressure at the offensive end, you make a couple back cuts. That time, those defenders now are really cautious about that.
Lillard's going to get to the free throw line. And David, let's continue our thought. Michael Uger telling us yesterday, I took them out of the starting lineup, the 3 seniors, because they violated team rules as we look at the Lillard take that'll get him to the line. Uger has said, sat him a game, didn't play him at all. Brought him back, and they're coming off the bench now. Coming off the bench for the rest of the season. We asked, how have they responded? How have they handled that? He's loved the way they've handled it. They've been terrific.
Absolutely. Here's one of them right here. But I think the big picture, Michael, here's what I like about what Michael Uger did. I respect him for making the decision. It's always tough to take some of your key players and put them off of that starting lineup. But I think he was looking more about this program, the culture of the program, and sending a message the team is more important than the individuals.
Absolutely.
Every coach in the country feels that way, but not every coach will do it. Michael Uger pulled the trigger on that one.
Yeah, he did, and he was most emphatic in a smile on his face, as he told us yesterday at practice, but he said, listen, that's what it is. It's got to be about the foundation of this team first. Blake Hamilton with that big step and finish off glass. How good is this young man's offensive all-around game? His all-around game, Blake Hamilton.
Got a call by the official. I'm not sure what that was, but to your point, Michael, and there's a good look at Michael Uger right there. Might have been a warning on the bench there. I'm not sure what we'll get a chance to find out, but back to your point, Blake Hamilton offensively, that hybrid point guard gives him the opportunity to play like a point guard, score like a forward, and penetrate with the best of them from a quickness standpoint.
And the officials did issue a bench warning to Nate Oates, his coaching staff, on that Buffalo bench. This is Zach Denny. Got contact and left at front rim. Looking to push Buffalo to the offensive end. This is Nick Perkins. Oh, he'll shoot it. He'll pull the trigger from there.
Absolutely. And you're taking a look right now at their secondary transition. They'll push it at you, try to take advantage, and then break down into that secondary. That time turnover. Nick Perkins coming the other way for the Falcons.
And again, folks, don't get lost in the translation. This is the two-time defending MAC tournament champions, these Buffalo Bulls. Bobby Hurley won it in 2014-15. He went to Arizona State. Nate Oates took over. At the time, the athletic director, Danny White, said it became real obvious to him as that beautiful delivery comes from Antoine Lillard, the young man from Cleveland. But White was said it became obvious that Nate Oates was the guy to take over for the squad. And they won another MAC tournament championship last year in Oates' first year.
Good movement here for the Buffalo Bulls.
Going to be a blocking foul that is going to get called on Rasheed Worrell of Bowling Green. And Michael Uger and that Bowling Green bench erupted on that whistle.
Well, you'll see a lot of high ball screens. You'll see right there. Always probably, and we'll talk about it during the course of the game, maybe one of the toughest, most difficult calls an official has to make is that block charge call. Players are strong, physical, a lot quicker nowadays. Always a difficult call.
Hamilton in the paint. Hamilton high off that glass. Oh, the degree of difficulty on the Blake Hamilton delivery.
So back to my point. He's in the post, out of bounds play. They're going to throw it up there as high as you can possibly get. Pulls it down and then finishes.
Hamilton's got 9. This is the Maggio Wiggins. He got hit with a walk. Wiggins got a little bit ahead of himself on that catch, so eager to go strong to the rim.
But what I've liked about Bowling Green offensively thus far, Michael, is the ability to know what you need to do at the offensive end of the floor as you take a look at Nate Oates right there. You're my history resource guy, to be honest with you.
Well, that was Rick Majerus back in 89-90 with Ball State. That left-hand delivery will go. That's for the first time today. C.J. Massenberg showing you his offensive skills, and Bowling Green's lead is down to a deuce.
So, but don't lose your aggressive play right here. You're Bowling Green. A tight game. You got to stay aggressive. Find the shots within the offense.
This is Mac Fox. Raise up. Oh, he splashed that three. We kind of had a moment with Matt Fox before the game. I said, have a good one, young man. He said, that's my plan, Mr. Regat.
Well, think about what he did off the bench versus Kent State. The ability to score.
But that all these young men, they practice, they address us as Mr. Regat, Mr. Sakuti, and David, it's one of two things. Either we can look at it that very respectful from these terrific young student athletes, or we're just flat out getting old.
Yeah.
It's one.
Probably a little blend there, my man. A little blend.
There's a 7th turnover for Buffalo. That's Isha Lee, not known for the perimeter jumper, and that one missed wide right.
And this is that first thrust you're seeing right there on your TV screen, because they love to push it. They're going to set that high ball screen, try to reverse it, and then penetrate to the basket.
How about that quick first step of Dante Carruthers, the third-year sophomore to Rochester? David, this young man Carruthers, Nate Oates was telling us yesterday, you know, a little different role on this team. He's the leading scorer in the history of New York State out of Rochester. Then went down to a Midland JC and averaged about 10 a game. And now, you know, now inserted in the starting lineup with trying to be a stabilizing factor.
And he's very aggressive, and you have to love that. I mean, one stat that stuck out to me is one of your guards has fouled out 5 times during the course of this season. But there's one guy right there.
What a marvelous. Massenberg. That's a marvelous take and delivery from Massenberg. That's Dylan Fry with that rainbow three, and he'll smash down for Bowling Green.
He gave a little three off the fingers there to the bench there. Not sure he meant to do that, but boy, he was deep in the range area outside the arc.
He is a three-point marksman that's gaining a lot of confidence in his game. Willie Connor with strength. Force that up and down. Hey, remember Willie Connor from last year's MAC Tournament Championship? The MVP of that Buffalo Bulls win in downtown Cleveland. A kick basketball. It'll stay with Bowling Green when we get back. Told you it'd be entertaining for the first 12.5 minutes. It's been just that.
What you try to do, and we talk about Buffalo Bulls right now and Nate Oates. I'm sure the conversation was there. He said, guys, this is a great time of year. Try to get it going. We're in mid-February, trying to make a strong finish here, get ourselves ready for Cleveland, Ohio.
That's the MO for all 12 Mid-American Conference squads. 3 weeks away. Dylan Fry to raise up. How pure and confidence is this young true freshman stroke?
Well, he started the last 6 games, as we've referenced, but boy, a freshman coming in out of Pembroke Pines, Florida, getting it done. Very efficient at the offensive end of the floor.
Michael Uger saw a lot of Fry when he was assistant coach for Jim Larinaga with the Miami Hurricanes. Both squads staying hot, as that's David Kadiri, the 6'8", 215-pound senior, knocking down that foul line J.
Boy, that's a
Foxel trigger.
Just a great set there from Michael Uger's team. They love that back screen on the perimeter.
Nick Perkins is back on the floor. Perkins wears number 33 down on that right block there you see at the center of your screen. Great slip screen for Kadiri, but how about the hands of Dylan Fry, who redirected it out of bounds?
Well, again, when you look at this lineup for Bowling Green, a little bit small on the perimeter. You got a 5'10", a 6-footer, and Fry at maybe 6'1", stretching it a little bit. Those 3 guys causing havoc at the defensive end.
Perkins will regather. Nick Perkins will touch that up. Well, Perkins has been absolutely phenomenal. He averages 14 a game. He's a 260-pound sophomore out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Went to Milan High School, played against Nate Oates' Romulus squads, while Oates was leading Romulus High to a big school state title in Michigan. Alsager to tee up the 3, and you can book that.
Great offensive set there for Bowling Green. Good patience, good shot selection. A couple key factors here for this Bowling Green team.
I'll try to go baseline. We have contact, as that was David Kadiri. You know, Kadiri, we did not see him this involved offensively, right. David. He's one of those guys that goes to the high ball screen and then go crash the offensive glass. Now he's starting to get a touch now and then.
You know what that is, Michael? It's confidence. Having the ability, having a couple good games, playing well, having some good practices, then you come out and perform.
Boy, absolutely. That practice floor will gain you not only a lot of confidence, but it'll get you more run, won't it?
One way or another.
Offensive foul on C.J. Messenberg. Our refereeing trio here today. Brett Wigecki, Kevin Ferguson, and Kevin O'Connell.
Well, we always talk about having the fortitude to step in there and take the contact. And you'll see it right there. Maybe a better acting job as well. Doesn't matter. We're going the other way. Bowling Green, opportunity here to keep cutting some offense.
Fry went baseline and then gave it up. This is Dylan Fry. Oh, wow. I tell you what, you know, yeah, he's got the deep stroke going today, and now Nate Oates is going to get a timeout.
Everything that an offensive team gives you, so you got to concentrate. Tough decisions right now for Nate Oates. You got to get out on Fry. We know that right now, but there's some other players who can hurt you as well.
And they've got a lot of shooters on the floor right now, and there's his rip away, and Fry's got a steal for Bowling Green. They're up 8 as we come inside the 5-minute mark. Hope you're enjoying this Maction matinee today. Michael Regard, Dave Sakuti, all of our terrific crew. Producer Rob Coons, director John Nakauchi in the game. And the ball movement for Bowling Green, huh?
It's something I think all teams like to concentrate on. Good ball screen, got a good look, good offensive tip back.
And a deep triple rattled out for Rod Caldwell. Fry went to the cup. That wouldn't stay down, and now Fry is going to get hit with a Bowling Green reach-in foul.
And that's a freshman mistake. We know that. He's looking at him right now thinking, why did I do that? That's just in your mentality as you take a good look at Michael Uger as a freshman. After you have a missed shot, sometimes you just try to sneak in there and try to do too much.
Partner, you talk about a lead guard that could break down a defense and create havoc. That young fella right there, like I said, I was, while he was here, I was calling MAC basketball back in the early 90s, and man, I call him the maestro, David, because he kind of orchestrated everything. And Jim Larinaga, a New York City guy, recruited Michael out of the Bronx, and it was a basketball marriage made in heaven here at Bowling Green.
And you know, sometimes you can look at our coaches in this conference and across America. There's a reflection sometimes of their playing ability as a player and now coach, how it's reflective on the floor with their players now.
No question.
They play like it because you get a great example from your head coach and a teaching perspective.
And Michael Uger really has started to lay the foundation of this Bowling Green program in his likeness and in his image. And they're up by 6 here. We get close to the 4-minute mark in the first half. Wave off that bucket. Dylan Fry there again. Now, there we saw he catches, and Dante Carruthers wanted to crowd him right away, David.
Yeah, and that's one thing.
So he's added now that ability to put it on the deck to his game.
What was I going to mention there? He's hit some shots from the outside, so all of a sudden Nate Oates telling this guy he's going to get out on him. And there he goes right down to the baseline off the drive. So smart move by Fry there.
And not able to hit that jumper was the young man, Malik Hula Chawiki. Chawiki had been put in the starting lineup, 6'1" sophomore. And now that team foul that has Bowling Green over the limit with number 8.
Well, there you see the missed shot. Good angle on the camera there, and you're going to see another foul. But it's funny, no player ever thinks he fouls. Get that look on those faces of these players. Nice little rotation there on that shot there at the free throw line for Dante Carruthers out of Rochester, New York. It's a good look at Fry. There's Carruthers. Look at his numbers, 21 minutes.
Carruthers will put them both in the book from the free throw stripe. This Buffalo squad hanging around down by 4 here as Bowling Green has shot the basketball extremely well, above 60% for most of this first half. This is Roderick Caldwell. That's an offensive foul. Well, you know, we mentioned Nate Oates wanted stabilization and the ability to defend on the perimeter, and there's Doc Emmerich, a PhD here at Bowling Green back in 1976. He's going to join on the radio call. There's Doc Emmerich. I'll tell you what, you're going to go far and wide to find a more talented hockey play-by-play voice than Mike Emmerich. As going to the hole for Buffalo quickly and delivering with that left hand was Devontae Jordan. And suddenly Nate Oates and his Bulls are back to within a deuce.
A little miscue at the defensive end for Bowling Green right there. Jordan got himself loose right off that out-of-bounds play. Easy score at the basket.
Isha Lee, Rashid Rorel, Matt Fox, Zach Denny on the floor right now, along with, as well, the other starter, Malik Hula Chawiki. And that Buffalo foul is going to send Bowling Green to the line. Isha Lee will get to the stripe as C.J. Massenberg going to check back in. And Hula Chawiki going to have a seat on the Bowling Green bench.
The one thing that Nate Oates has done with this Buffalo Bulls basketball team, this stretch run, the last 4 or 5 games, they've really tightened it up. We've talked about their defensive presence. But boy, from the defensive perspective, in terms of keeping teams under 35, 34% from a shooting percentage, boy, that's a strong goal that every program has. They've done it here the last 2 or 3 games. I know the game against Northern Illinois, 32% is what they held them to. You do that a few times during the course of a week or 2-week period, you're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, Isha Lee has hit the first from the line and earning that bonus. It'll connect. Come up the lead back up to 4 again. Great to have you along on this early Saturday afternoon of Maxon, Mid-American Conference hoops here in The month of February, that's an offensive foul as Blake Hamilton is going to get hit for clearing out. So Hamilton got whistled.
Well, set play there for the Bulls. A big double screen up on the top there. Got called for the offensive foul.
As you look at Doc Emmerich coming up at halftime, we'll have more on the 50th anniversary of the Slater Family Ice Arena. Marissa Contepelli will sit down and have a chat with Doc Emmerich, legendary hockey play-by-play broadcast. He's got degrees from two MAC institutions. As mentioned, the PhD here, I believe Miami is the other. And he's in town to call the action tonight as Zach Denny couldn't deposit that face-up jumper. Buffalo in a hurry to the offensive end.
Kadiri at the other end, clean the boards. He's in the game to do a couple things. One of them is to rebound strong.
This is Willie Connor off the slash. Offensive foul on Willie Connor. Now Buffalo has been taking the basketball to the rim continuously here in the first half.
Well, they've been aggressive, but let's give some credit to Bowling Green. They knew they were going to be aggressive, and what have they done? They've taken 3 defensive charges during the course of this first half. Those are big possessions that you wipe away scoring, and you get an opportunity here at the offensive end to do a little bit of your own.
Turn number 10 for Buffalo. That's Rashid Rorel. How about that stick-to-itiveness on the left-handed putback?
That's, again, the ability to go right back up, knowing the miss. Anticipation, key element there.
That basketball slid out of the hands of Buffalo's Levante Jordan. And we got a whistle down on the baseline as Isha Lee trying to handle and keep it safe.
Watch right here. Again, maybe a little touch. Physical game. Vicious letting them play here on Saturday afternoon. The early start time. No sluggish in these two teams here to get this one going.
I think that was established early that, you're going to let the fellas bang a little bit as David Kadiri off the mark. Look at Willie Connor grab that offensive bound for Buffalo to give him a fresh 30-second clock.
There's that high double screen here. Very difficult to guard. Then you got the skip pass across the floor. Another offensive foul.
Willie Connor got hit again. He went to make that move, and David, did you see Isha Lee? Tell everybody about his anticipation to draw that charge.
Well, you can't wait for a split second. You have to anticipate and have your feet in position, as you'll see right here. He's already got that, and probably a little push off with the left arm, forearm a little bit. Probably got the official to go that direction.
Bowling Green will come to the offensive end after the Willie Connor clear out. Trying to enhance their lead. Not going to happen on this trip as Nick Perkins just ripped it away from Matt Fox. Levante Jordan thought about going to the hole. It's Jordan with Kadiri, Perkins, Massenberg, and Connor. Blake Hamilton getting a respite right now.
We've seen a lot of different combinations from both of these teams. Good penetration to the basket right there.
That's
Willie
strong.
Connor.
That's strong on that big hop step to the hole from Willie Connor. To bring Buffalo back to within 4. Again, Connor, the MVP for the Buffalo Bulls of the MAC tournament win a year ago. This is Matt Fox. A little bit too firm from deep. Buffalo to push. Connor will attack the goal, and he's going to get to the free throw line. Willie Connor, David, he just looks like he is making a straight line to the front of the rim every time he touches.
Well, anytime you're going to be aggressive. But you know what's interesting, Michael, is we were kind of doing our little prep before the game, watching both teams come out doing their little shoot-arounds. The assistant coaches all come out, and they go through. But one thing Buffalo was working on was the quick pass and the quick dribble to the basket. We noticed that for about 5 or 10 minutes, a couple drills that the assistant coaches were putting the players through with their paces there.
Willie Connor, 6'5", 200-pound senior out of Chicago. He had 48% of his triple tries last year. As we mentioned, MAC tournament MVP and part of the first year of the newly minted MAC all-defensive team as well. David, sometimes, too, Willie Connor's going to get a break as checking in for the Buffalo Bulls. Again, a couple of minutes as Nikola Rakikovic for the final minute. Connor gets lost sometimes, the point I'm trying to make with Hamilton, Perkins, and Massenberg. That's an offensive foul on Ish Ali. As Ali will get hit for that player control foul, but he is every bit as valuable, Willie Connor, to this program because he gives them that fourth scoring option.
All options are good if you're a head coach at either one of these teams. During the course of a year, you're trying to develop options, and sometimes you just got them. To me, Willie Connor can do a lot of different things on the floor to help this basketball team. One of them you mentioned, Michael, is that penetration. And there's another. We got a lot of here in the last maybe 2 minutes, a lot of calls going on. This time it's a block call, one-on-one opportunity at the free throw line.
That true freshman Devontae Jordan out of Cocoa Beach, Florida, is going to get to the free throw line.
You know, one of the toughest things from a coaching perspective is when you have good depth, and both of these teams are playing a lot of players, is trying to figure out what combinations will work during the course of the game. That's a tough challenge, and the assistant coaches are going to give them a little guidance here, but for Nate Oates and Michael Uger, those are some of the tough challenges when you're playing a lot of guys. Sometimes I always thought if you got 7 guys, it makes it easy on you.
Sure.
Because you know the substitution patterns. Boy, a lot of combinations on the floor here this afternoon.
Devontae Jordan just missed a couple from the stripe. Bowling Green, you got about an 8 to 9 second differential game and shot clock here as the Falcons can use more if they want. Antoine Lillard said, I don't need more shot clock, as he splashed that three. Antoine Lillard, 6'5" sophomore out of Cleveland Central Catholic High School.
Should give him a little boost of confidence there. Only shooting about 25% from the three thus far. That one got to go down.
3 seconds left on that floater. That's sure it'll go down for C.J. Massenberg. That teardrop that goes, and that's how the first half comes to an end. We did whatever we wanted, but we're down by 3, boys.
That's right. You got to make sure that message is delivered. But think about it, Michael. Their aggressive play at the offensive end got them a lot of great looks right at the basket. You don't have to shoot it well from 3. Just got to make sure you get some points on the board.
Now let's go to the hoop here for, I hesitate to say, the final 20 minutes, as that quick 3 from Dylan Fry, a little bit too firm. We'll check the 10 on the floor. It looks to me like the same 10. 5 for both squads that started this one today. Buffalo offense really spread around. Hamilton, Massenberg, Connor, Kadiri, and this is Blake Hamilton wrapping around to get some room. And how about C.J. Massenberg on the offensive glass for the step back?
Massenberg gets close to 3 rebounds a game, a couple of offensive each and every contest. That time he just anticipated that missed shot from Blake Hamilton. Pretty good look, though, offensively for the Bulls.
Massenberg averaging 14 a game, 5 boards and 3 assists. Like Hamilton, he does a lot for this squad. DiMaggio Wiggins got held as he wanted to try to explode to the rim, and that Buffalo foul is going to go on Dante Carruthers. Buffalo on the turnover side, huh? On the year.
Yep. Yeah, and I think one thing Bowling Green's coming out trying to get DiMaggio Wiggins in a one-on-one isolated situation. That last time foul was called on Buffalo, but he's working hard on the interior right now, calling for the basketball.
Wiggins looking to make that strong move on Kadiri. Wiggins is going to get to the free throw line. Really worked hard yesterday on his base, on the catch on the block, and then the drop steps.
Well, watch that right here on the baseline right here. You'll see the movement right there offensively. They've tried to get that the first 2 possessions. So if you're asking me what Michael Uger talked about at halftime, this right here. Offensively, getting this young man at the free throw line involved, get him some touches on the interior.
If you recall, as Wiggins will come up short on his first. As David and I started today, we featured Wiggins as the Bowling Green Falcon to watch because he played so extremely well. But it was probably the first, I want to say, 4 or 5 possessions before he even got a touch.
And, you know, give credit to the defense sometimes because they're trying to take away. Good look at Michael Uger. Intensity plus in this next 20 minutes here, trying to figure out who's going to get that 4th straight win here this afternoon.
Both these squads, 2 of the hottest that we have in the MAC. Trying to somehow stay in touch with Keith Dambrot and his Akron Zips in the back east. That reverse is going to go. Degree of difficulty severe for Dante Carruthers. He had a stress fracture in the preseason. Wasn't able to start the year, but Nate Oates is calling him a lockdown defender. Caldwell couldn't finish on his drive to the rim, and Wiggins is going right back to the free throw line.
You know, you mentioned injuries, Michael, and every team goes through them. Some people get them early in the season, as you take a look at the drive there. Others, unfortunately, for the Ohio Bobcats, Antonio Campbell, one of the key players in this conference, went down about 2 weeks ago, lost for the season. But you see a lot of that across in collegiate basketball right now, injuries. It kind of depends on when you get them. Right now, both these teams are starting to get healthy.
Yeah, and that's a terrific point that both Nate Oates and Michael Uger were discussing with us yesterday. You know, and a lot of credit to Saul Phillips and his squad now. Because, David, I was wondering, and I'm going to keep a close eye, you lose Antonio Campbell, and Phillips has kind of massaged it and kept it vibrant, and Ohio has responded in kind and played pretty good basketball without the MAC Player of the Year.
Another offensive possession right here. Think about this in Ohio before we get back to this offensive set here. Jason Carter, a freshman for Saul Phillips, has jumped in there and given them some valuable contributions.
So good. That's Wes Elsevier off the spin. Wiggins had an offensive board, but C.J. Massenberg poked it away. A couple minutes deep into the second half. Bowling Green by 1. Buffalo could reclaim the lead here. And rainbow triple is right there from C.J. Massenberg for the Buffalo lead.
He's one of those players, a rhythm type of shooter. Once he gets his feet set, every possession now, you got to know where that young man's at the offensive end of the floor.
Caldwell off that ball screen. He'll deliver the triple. Back-to-back threes. Massenberg, Buffalo. Rod Caldwell, Bowling Green.
Oh, well, gave Massenberg a little bit of medicine at the other end of the floor. They're on each other in a tough defensive battle.
Well, folks, better buckle up. We might be on this roller coaster ride with lead changes throughout the second half. That's a sweet take to the rim. And one coming for Blake Hamilton, the dynamic 6'6" Buffalo senior.
Well, anytime you can let the offensive player get to the middle of the floor, you're asking for trouble if you're Bowling Green. On second look right here, he separated himself from 3 defenders, got himself all the way to the basket. That right there, young people, is what you want to try to work on.
Well, David, I was just going to ask you from a coaching perspective, the importance of getting your young men to understand how to be able to take contact on your moves to the rim and still be able to finish.
And I will say this about Blake Hamilton. A year ago, maybe 2 years ago, he probably wouldn't be able to do that. But his strength has played a factor. How about that finish? Maybe that'll get Wiggins on track here in the second half.
Yeah, Wiggins punched that after Dylan Fry went hard to the hoop. Bowling Green back on top. But look at Hamilton. Going into his bag of tricks offensively. That wouldn't stay in the cup, but Caldwell watched the push. Lillard off the step. Wiggins with power. David Kadiri helped deny that at the hoop. Or check that. Kenneth Smart on the floor now. They give David Kadiri a respite. Nick Perkins ready to check in, and that Bowling Green foul is going to go on Antoine Lillard. Let's take a look at, again, Dylan Fry strong to the hole, David.
Well, that's exactly what you got to do, but watch the finish here. Wiggins. In the next possession, he got another touch at the offensive end. And as he continues to get a little stronger, Wiggins, he'll continue to finish at the basket with great force.
Willie Connor, again, going right to the rim. Wouldn't go down for him. Connor, relentless, got sent away by Lillard. Perkins off the spin.
There you go.
Banged it home off glass.
That's Perkins' game right there, folks. Being able to get second opportunities off of the glass, taking his body up and strong to the basket.
Buffalo back on top by 1. This is Wes Elsevier. Elsevier to the cup with a left hand and floats it home.
Well, that's his game right there, penetration. Not going to hurt you a whole lot from the outside. But boy, when he can get the advantage, low shoulders usually win the battle.
Connor got shut off by Antoine Lillard. Carruthers got to the rim with a right-hand delivery from the left side of the glass.
Enough scoring here, Michael.
I think so. Love it. What I like about it, David, as we said, I mean, nobody's bashful. Everybody said, I'm going to take you to the hoop. Almost everybody's putting it on the deck trying to get to the rim.
Trust me now, there's going to be a point in this game.
Look at Ali. How about the delivery to DiMaggio Wiggins for the easy bucket?
There will be some time during the course of this next 15 minutes that the defense is going to have to take over. You're going to need some stops because right now, nobody can stop anybody.
This is Kenneth Smart with muscle. That's going to go, and you can count that with a DiMaggio Wiggins foul. Wow. This is nothing but.
And they're going to try to continue to build on that.
Now that's not the offensive forte, really, of this Nate Oates Buffalo squad, as you see Kenneth Smart at the line. David, they only shoot 32%, so Smart will finish off that three-point trip. And the Bulls of Buffalo back on top by 2. But, you know, they're in the top 3 in MAC in assists. They share the ball well. And, of course, we know on the defensive end of the floor, too, they're number 2 in protecting the rim at better than 4 block shots a game. This is Lillard. Got rid of it before he traveled.
Good body control, the ability to catch it and release it before he fell.
Ali turned it over. Lillard tried to get it right back. Look at Carruthers. Came up with a loose basketball and continued strong to the hoop. And now another Buffalo steal off a Bowling Green giveaway. Carruthers got sent out of there by Wes Elsevier, who said, no, you won't, little man. You're not coming in here again.
But up and down we go. A lot of transition. If you weren't awake when you walked into the Stroh Center at noon, you're awake now. You got to pay attention because there's a lot of fast action going on here.
Yeah, I said frenetic pace earlier on, and both these squads, certainly, they are not adverse to pushing the basketball when they get opportunities. And now it might be danger time, though, for Bowling Green as Buffalo's up 4 and with it. Perkins off the spin. Well, he put it on the deck, got in trouble, and had it raked away. Antoine Lillard for Bowling Green.
Great defensive sequence there, Michael, at that end of the floor. Bowling Green trying to respond here.
Elsevier to jack up that quick 3 that was too hard off that back rim.
One of those shots, if you're Michael Uger, you're thinking we can get that anytime during the course of the shot clock.
That would have counted had it went. You know, David, you from the coaching perspective, I mean, listen, when you've got to deal with as an opposing coach, trying to get both Blake Hamilton and this guy, C.J. Massenburg, with their multiple talents under control, I mean, that probably keeps you up at night.
Oh, no question. You just got to almost pick your poison a little bit. What are we going to try to do? Guard on the perimeter? Make sure we take away the threes.
But they blow by you.
They do. That's what I mean.
If you crowd them too close, right?
Yeah, we just lost a little sleep right there if you're Nate Oates thinking about that. Good point. But what I'm saying is, then you got to just make sure your players understand you got to give up something. But in the long haul, during the course of a 40-minute game, we got to do a better job guarding the basketball on dribble drive penetration.
Yeah, that's Michael Uger's assignment today. And as we were talking to him yesterday, we brought up Hamilton and defensively to how they were going to deploy their defense against Hamilton and Massenburg. And he said, don't forget about Nick Perkins now.
That's right.
He said he comes off that bench, and that is a load as well to have to handle. And splitting the pair, C.J. Massenburg, the lead is 5 for Buffalo.
So now if you're Bowling Green right now, so much time left in this game. You find out about the character of this team right now in terms of where their shot patience is. Are you going to go for the quick one? Are you going to have some patience? That 4 or 5 point spread can easily go to 10 if you're not careful right here.
And Buffalo's still scorching at the offensive end. 73% in the first half, 64 in the second. Now this is Zach Denny. Then he got shot off
at 1.
Lillard's got a jack. Didn't draw any rim. So a 30-second shot clock violation on Bowling Green. And with that, now went into the BG Hall of Fame in 1971, and Dr. Ellis went on to a tremendous standing as on the academic side, as the superintendent Toledo Public Schools. We applaud the Mid-American Conference and Dr. Crystal Ellis for all their contributions to both academics and athletics, as that's a held ball situation as C.J. Massenberg trying to, Blake Hamilton looking to attack the rim there for Nate Oates. So Buffalo on top by 5. And David, that timeout from Michael Huger. How critical of a juncture here could this be for Bowling Green?
Well, it's significant, Mike. Two things happened right there. They came out and showed a little pressure, but he was talking to them about offensive patience. You know, you need assisted baskets.
And Bowling Green now in this 2-3 zone now. Hamilton's going to unload from deep. Coming up with the loose change. Carruthers, he got that to drop in traffic, and one more coming from the line.
But back to your point, Michael, that's the challenge. Offensively, you're trying to figure out what you need to do, and then you give up something at the defensive end, a foul, an opportunity for the three-point play. But I think right now at the offensive end for Bowling Green, you got to make sure you have good patience, plenty of time, some assisted baskets, not just the individual moves off one-and-done situations.
Carruthers wide left on that free throw, but he has had a strong performance today. He's got 10. Dante Carruthers. He had a stress fracture to begin the year, but has turned into a real stabilizer in the backcourt. This is Zach Denny. He knocked down a critical baseline J, and did Michael Huger and Bowling Green needed.
Yep, little isolation, two-man game on that right side. Good ball screen, good gather and step back for Zach Denny.
Carruthers will give it up. That three-point bomb from Blake Hamilton off the mark. Offensive board for David Kadiri. Kadiri somehow got it back. Carruthers again, and he's going to the free throw line. Wow, Dante Carruthers. We'll discuss his imprint on this basketball game when we come back, when he's at the free throw line. The basketball practice gym has been named after Coach Ed Wright, as he had such a major impact on college hockey at the Division I level and at the University at Buffalo as well. So congratulations to Ed Wright for his strong contributions. And all month, the MAC again will be highlighting the success and accomplishments of African Americans throughout the Mid-American Conference. Willie Connor with a couple of free throw hits. So this Buffalo lead stretched to 7 now. Where's Michael Huger going with his message?
Well, again, there's plenty of time, but you still have to get good execution at the offensive end. And you need every possession you got. Turnovers, bad shots are not what you need right now if you're Bowling Green.
Maggio Wiggins off the spin. And that jump hook did not fall as it hung on the iron, and Willie Connor will board. And speaking of boards, on the offensive end, they had one offensive rebound at halftime. David, they probably had a half a dozen more here in the first 9 minutes of the second half.
Well, 7 to be exact, Michael. And that's impressive because most of those led to second scoring opportunities off of the glass. But you mentioned Dante Carruthers. You know, some guys, they dazzle you with the stat line.
Yeah.
He ain't going to dazzle you with that. What he's going to do is keep this team together. He's the glue guy, at least in this game, especially here in the second half.
Had a superb performance. Here's Carruthers again. Massenberg from the baseline. That wouldn't fall. Bowling Green needs a success on the offensive end, plain and simple.
Yep, start needing points now, be it at the free throw line, and they haven't done much on the offensive glass as well. It's been one and done. Buffalo's done a terrific job cutting off penetration as well.
Like that, although Willie Connor got a little bit over-exuberant. That's the Connor foul on Zach Denny. So, Matt Fox and Zach Denny, two long-range bombers on the floor now for Michael Huger, trying to space out, thin out Buffalo's D.
Try to stretch them out a little bit, but I don't think right now. You still got to find other ways to score. Three-point shooting's a fickle thing, Michael. Sometimes you feel good and they drop all the time. Other times you can go blank on a lot of those outside shots.
Zach Denny in the paint. Well, that was defended by the length of Massenberg, though. I'm not sure Denny had a real good look at the cup. Buffalo by 7 as we approach the midway point here of the second half.
Matchup zone here, a little 3-2 type of look. Going to give up that corner shot. That time, C.J. Massenberg got that one to go down.
Dialed it up and connected. Massenberg's been averaging over 15 a game and shooting 40% from three in the last 5 for Buffalo. Antoine Lillard off the mark. Bowling Green has gone cold, and they find themselves now down by 10. Jordan to the hole, making a dozen as he reversed it home.
And one thing you have to be careful about if you're Michael Huger, don't let your offensive lack of execution as it gets a timeout affect you at the defensive end right now. Some miscues opening up the gaps for the basket cuts.
Yeah, there was one right.
Nate Oates has instilled a confidence level in this Buffalo Bulls basketball team that helps them in terms of what they're trying to do at the offensive end of the floor. And shooting is all about confidence.
Nate Oates has done a fabulous job. Again, 2 years next to Bobby Hurley on that Buffalo bench as an assistant coach. Hurley takes the Arizona State job. And, you know, the Buffalo, the players, they said, hey,
that's our guy.
Went to the AD. You got Nate Oates. That's the guy we want. Shot clock at 4. Denny lost the basketball. Run out, Buffalo. Carruthers on that dime as he found a streaking Hamilton that got held on the Bowling Green foul before the run out. And Michael Huger right now is just searching for a combination that'll give him something.
And again, we talked about both of these teams. As you're going to look at a number situation, Carruthers, explosive, quick, and strong, can get it to the basket with the best of them. That time the foul's called, I believe it was on the pass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but that's a 17 foul, though, on the Bowling Green Falcons. So one in bonus time for the final 9:15. Carruthers will cash in the first one. He's had a big one today as Dante Carruthers. He's got 13 now and looking for 14. He averages just 4 points a game, but he was one of the leading scorers in the history of New York State high school basketball, and averaged almost 11 a game in his year at Midland JC down in Texas.
You know, everybody loves to score. I don't care who you are. He's doing that today, but his all-around game is probably the most impressive thing.
C.J. Massenberg got hit with providing that arm bar there. And that is but team foul, though, number 5 on Buffalo.
But back to your point, Michael Huger's trying to figure this out right now. You can't turn the ball over like they just did right there. You got numbers, quick slam, right at the basket.
Blake Hamilton running to the cup and delivering with some emphasis. And this is starting to get away from Bowling Green. They're down by 16 now as Buffalo on this major run. Dylan Fry will finally end the drought by depositing that short jumper from Michael Huger in Bowling Green.
Now if you're Bowling Green, even though there's a little bit over 8 minutes, sometimes defensively you might want to change. Nick Perkins, wild off-line shot there from the top of the key. Another score right here will give this Bowling Green basketball team maybe a little confidence to make a run here.
Alsager got held on his way to the rim. That'll be team foul number 6. So that's something Bowling Green will need in the final 8 minutes plus. The next team foul on Buffalo, they'll get to the free throw line.
And you talk about coaches losing sleep. When we talked to Michael Huger yesterday, this scenario is what makes you lose sleep. When you're down 14, trying to figure out offensively, how are we going to get ourselves back into this game? Who's going to be the combinations on the floor that can make that happen?
We've got a couple of shooters in Zach Denny and Dylan Fry on the floor. Denny to raise up. Wiggins had an offensive board, and Perkins knocked it away from him out of bounds. It'll stay with Bowling Green with a fresh 30-second shot clock.
And remember, early in this second half, they went exclusively to Wiggins on the inside, but he's kind of disappeared here in the last 5-6 minutes.
Zach Denny had a pretty good look from the baseline, off the mark, and Connor will board. Bowling Green, though, is, yes, shots got to go down, but they're going to have to start to come up with a series of stops here defensively.
Yeah, that too, but also remember this, as this clock unwinds a little bit, now you're going to maybe have to start relying upon three-point shots, and that's not the situation you want at all.
Massenberg gave it up. That's Willie Connor with that knockdown stroke of his from deep. And this lead is ballooned to 17, the largest of the afternoon. Connor their best from long range. Shot 48% last year, only at 34% this year. And Nate Oates was telling us he thinks Connor will start to get going. And look at the defensive end as that rejection from Devontae Jordan on Rod Caldwell. All that energy that was inside the Stroh Center started to dissipate.
Shots from the outside, getting penetration to the basket. The Bulls running hard.
Now, Bowling Green led 53-52 against Nate Oates' squad, and in a sense, it's been that 22-4 run, and which is currently 11-0 as well, as the lid continues to stay on the rim for Bowling Green. And the Falcons have really cooled off here in the second half, just shooting 30% here in half number 2. And we're coming inside the 7-minute mark. Hamilton. Fall. Hamilton's got all the tricks in his offensive game.
Absolutely. One of the tough guards in this conference. He can put it on the floor with the best of them, draw defenders. He can go ahead and drop a dime when needed or finish at the basket like he just did that last offensive possession.
And Hamilton's got 15. C.J. Massenberg 17. Willie Connor 11. All in double numbers. Carruthers with 13. Wiggins is going to get to the free throw line as he got pushed by Big Nick Perkins.
You know, and I'm not going to make any excuses for Michael Uger and his basketball team. But you think about it as you take a look right there. The turnovers by half. Buffalo, first half 13. Talking about being efficient with the basketball, Michael. Just one thus far here in the second half.
Yeah, terrific job compiling the numbers by our Tom Bolshenik and all the gang, and on the graphic side, and putting everything together in the truck. Well done.
Just to finish my point, you got to remember now, Bowling Green's coming off their last 2 games, a couple overtime games, one of them a double overtime. And just the body language tells me they're a little worn down right now. But maybe it's the energy that Buffalo brings right now. They're playing at a high motor right now, each and every one of these players.
Alsager off the step back. That's a deep 2. Stride inside that 3-point arc. Bowling Green down 17. Oh, that's a quick trigger from Willie Connor there. But Connor went right back and dug it out until Alsager picked his pocket. Lillard will push. Fry from deep. Bang! He's tripped.
There you go. Good interior catch. Good pass out.
The freshman Dylan Fry ringing it up from home run range. And this lead is down to 14 as Lillard stepped in a passing lane. So with 5:41 left, Michael Uger would like to see one big push that puts some pressure here on Buffalo.
And on the other end, Michael, when you think about Nate Oates, he's got to think right now with 5 minutes and some change left, do we start to pull back a little bit, or do we stay aggressive like we've been for the first 25, 30 minutes of this basketball game? Because every possession right now, you can take time off the clock, works in their advantage.
Yeah, Dante Carruthers is back for Buffalo. 14 points today, a couple of assists. Well, that never got to the rim as Blake Hamilton hoisted that. Fry to trigger. Get it! He's tripping again. Back-to-back praise from the true freshman. A precocious first-year player, Dylan Fry.
Taste to him right now.
Yep, Dylan Fry, young man that has been thrust into a big-time role for Michael Uger. Started seeing this young man play down in Florida as a young teenager. Alsager's got a rip away. Fry again. Caldwell from deep. That would have brought the house down had that fall to bring Bowling Green back to within 8. Didn't, though. That Bowling Green foul is going to be called on DiMaggio Wiggins.
What a nice sequence here defensively. Blocking out, securing the rebound, taking the foul. An opportunity here at the free throw line for Willie Connor here to extend this lead a little bit farther.
Yeah, Buffalo is a team, not one of the better free throw squads in the MAC. 67%. That's an area Nate Oates would like to see. But every facet of their game has been so good today.
And you know, you mentioned that stat there, Michael, and I get concerned too if I'm Nate Oates, but on the other end, they make about 15 made free throws per game.
Right.
So that gives you some points on the board, even though
you're more concerned with the makes,
Absolutely.
even if it takes 23, 24
just like
to get those 15 makes.
Just like the 2 versus the 3. A lot of coaches love that percentage of taking more of the 3 shot.
Fry to pull the trigger again. That came up short. Massenburg got held to go to the free throw line as Antoine Lillard, Michael Uger looking at Willard with palms up stretch. Why?
Why now?
Why there in the middle of the floor?
Oh, coaching. The challenges you face.
C.J. Massenburg. Folks, get a good look at this young man from Dallas, Texas. All MAC freshman squad a year ago. Was close to 400 points last year. As that first one, though, rattled out. 400 points last year, the second most in UB history for a freshman.
And you back it up with a very solid sophomore season.
Yeah, terrific campaign he's putting. Al Segar thought about it. Fry will. Missed his last couple from deep. Hamilton will send Carruthers to the cup. Dante Carruthers continues to shine. He's got 16 for Buffalo. The lead is back to 14. Al Segar will unload. You mentioned it. Quick threes now going up in the Bowling Green.
And you know, when you get under this 4-minute mark now and you're down by 14, you know, 2s are still good, but you're almost trying to increase the 3 level there. As you look at the points in the paint.
That plus 30 for Buffalo?
Big difference there.
Massenburg strong to the rim, and he's going right back to the free throw line. All right, we'll take this under 4-minute timeout. Down 14. Michael Uger.
Let's take a look at his stat sheet as well, but when you don't get good shots and you start forcing the ball a little bit, create some bad turnovers, but they gave up some easy baskets in transition as well.
C.J. Massenburg at the free throw line. Now, speaking of Nate Oates, as Massenburg will look to split the pair. He's taken his squad. They play next Tuesday night, so 72 hours from now, up in Mount Pleasant at Central Michigan. How is that going to, and how will he approach these next couple of days with his squad? Hotel here tonight in Bowling Green, up to Mount Pleasant, 2 nights in a hotel up there.
Well, a unique situation travel-wise. No use going back to Buffalo. You're going to go ahead and extend your stay here 1 night. They're going to go get a little homecoming for Nate Oates as well. Going to practice at Romulus High School.
Right.
Have a practice
near
there.
Detroit.
I'm not sure this team needs a lot of bonding. They've been with each other now almost 3 months, but anytime you're on the road, these guys love hanging with each other. You're going to try to limit practice time a little bit, stay fresh, get yourself ready, because you know come Tuesday night up there.
Oh, got to go see Marcus Keene and Braylon Rayson.
You got that right.
Nate Oates, he's well aware of what kind of a defensive challenge that'll be. Now Hamilton to turn that corner with a shot clock at 5, and he's going, nope, offensive foul. Dylan Fry, the freshman, took the contact. And when you look at Buffalo, too, now they had those look at those, at Miami by 1, an L, at Akron by 1. Those were back-to-back. And 2 weeks before that, they gave up a huge lead at home and lost to Ohio.
Well, you know, and I know you're going to say, well, you're a coach, and what do you do about it? Here's what you do. That's where coaching comes into play. You can't let your players lose confidence when you lose those close games. You stay on task in terms of what you're trying to accomplish, and it's paid off big dividends right now, because right now this is Team Buffalo, Michael. I'm not sure you want to face this team right now.
Oh, no. They are explosive with all kinds of weapons. Rod Caldwell got his shot slapped right back at him as he tried to go to the rim by Perkins and by David Kadiri. So here it is, Central Michigan. But now, after Central Michigan, 4 of the last 5 for Nate Oates at home in UB Arena.
Somebody in the conference office likes this Buffalo Bulls team, because that's a great benefit.
Two-time defending MAC champ.
Absolutely. You got 4 or 5 at home. Good
it all evens out. You got to play 9 on the road and 9 at home. However, to get a stretch of 4 or 5, but also we can look at that. And earlier they played 4 or 5 away.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now, I want to be home. I want to be in the nice confines of my own building. Have some confidence, and you hope you don't have any distractions. Remember now, when you go on the road a little bit, all the distractions at home are gone. have to worry about people bugging you, ticket situations and all that. You're on the road, you got to worry about yourself and your team.
There you go. There you go. And their team, as they've gone from 50, they were down 53-52 the last time Bowling Green led. And since that time, they've outscored the Falcons 29-13. And Alcigar got denied there by Perkins. Now, listen, when you look at David Kadiri, Nick Perkins, Ikenna Smart, and even Raheem Johnson, there's 4 guys 6'9" and above that'll protect that rim, too, as we've seen today. Perkins. And Perkins got held by Bowling Green's Rashid Worrell. You NBA fans, remember that pretty good point guard from his Detroit Piston days when he was part of those Piston teams that played San Antonio in the NBA championships, Lindsey Hunter. And he took over for Daniel Marshall. When Marshall was a Buffalo assistant.
Daniel's at Central Connecticut State, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, anytime you have that experience on the floor or on the bench in a teaching situation, you'll move there. But I guess my point is, anytime you have an former Emmy player who really had a nice career, there's going to be a transition from his game, making sure those players understand they might have a chance too.
Kadiri's going to go to the free throw line, but again, it's all on the ability to break down a defense. We've seen all day long from Dante Carruthers. He just absolutely blew by Bowling Green defenders again.
College basketball has been built in the last 5 or 7 years on dribble drive penetration. Kentucky started it, John Calipari. Everybody's picked up on it. Dribble drive, being able to dish, being able to be strong at the basket. That's probably 60-65% of the game. And then add the three-point shot. Those 2 elements in college basketball are the difference makers.
So you're saying if you can do those 2 things well offensively, you're going to be very difficult to contain.
Yeah, exactly, because you're going to make it tough on your opponents in terms of how they're going to stop you. But it's not, when I talk about dribble drive, Michael, it's under control too, and we've seen that from Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
They've gone under control. They've either finished, dished it off, or got to the free throw line.
Well, they split the pair there from David Kadiri. Ish Ali back on the floor. Ali will turn the corner and go strong with that delivery off the window. This is turned into all Buffalo as we're inside the 2-minute mark now. They went on that 22-4 run and 11-0 in there, and it really got this building very quiet.
And this will make that time together here in the next 3 days a little more pleasant as well.
Denny off the steal. That would have counted had it gone down. Zach Denny will get to the free throw line. All right, let's flip it over now. So this is going to end Bowling Green's 3-game win streak, okay? And the Falcons now are going to fall to 5 up and 7 down in the MAC. And now they got to go on the road. Michael Euchre's got to take his team on the road at Western Michigan in the crossover game. And then back to finish out in the East at Ohio before getting back home against Akron. So there it is for Michael Euchre. And, you know, probably, I mean, he's made his decision on how he's going to go. He's bringing his 3 seniors off the bench, who he suspended briefly for their violation of team rules. And so they're going to keep coming off the bench. And we'll see if Bowling Green can pick it back up. Now, 2 of those 3 wins they got, of course, we know were big overtime wins. Right over Toledo, double overtime. Yep. And then beat Kent State last week at the MAC Center on the road.
But they're right in, you talked about it early, Michael, they're right in that bunch right now on the MAC standing. So, you know, they're fighting for seeding purposes. And this team should be highly motivated, even though they're going to probably come away with a loss today, to do some good things here down the stretch.
Dylan Fry, you keep an eye on this young man, folks. Wears number 5 for Bowling Green. He has got a bright Maxian future. And as he's showing as an 18-year-old true freshman, and none of this is too big for him. Connor to stroke that triple. Willie Connor, the best from long distance of the very, very impressive Buffalo offensive crew.
Boy, they've been a force today. We saw it from the start, almost here to the finish.
Zach Denny to pull that trigger and connect on a deep 2, I believe. They're going to check on this, though. It was called a 2 on the floor. I think when Denny with that last rock step that he had a foot on the line, but we'll see. It's going to get looked at.
And the beauty of replay technology, and you're going to take a peek right here. I'm sure our terrific crew got a good look at it here. At least here's one. That one looks like he's on the line there with his right toe.
It does. And that was the last jab step he took that I was referencing. And right here to our left in this Stroh center floor. And the call was a 2 on the floor. David, I think that's going to stay.
Nope. Yep.
Well, they did not. They gave him a 3.
Gave him a 3. Wow.
From that angle we had, it looked like that, but the referee trio, they got a better look here, and we do not serve, by the way, here on the television side as the official review look. So that look that we had, sometimes looks are a little bit. I won't say disjointed, but sure, different angles could show you something completely different. Buffalo to the offensive end as Blake Hamilton, C.J. Massenberg, Willie Connor, Dante Carruthers, David Kadiri. What a job they've done here on the road today. Hamilton with another impressive swerve and slash to the hoop. And David, another thing about Buffalo, you know your talent when you can win consistently on the road, and this team can.
Yeah, and that's we always talk about going on the road in any conference, but especially in this one, there's some tough environments. Try to win your home ones, maybe split on the road, but anytime you can get one here, it's a good one to have and take back with you. In this case, going to take it on to Central Michigan on Tuesday night.
It's over. You can put this 40-minute win in the books for Nate Oates and the Buffalo Bulls.